Doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping, and the lights are turned way down low.
Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show with live entertainment today, being that this is airing on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
I'm Dawn Eldridge with Remax Results. We need some hot toddies or Tom and
Anyway, every
Jerry's or
time I hear
something
that
while
song,
we're here.
the corn is popping. I'm like, oh, I want some popcorn. Who's got popcorn?
Oh, I heard someone. Is that Stephanie Havel with Wells
It's
Fargo?
me.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh my gosh, she appeared.
Merry Christmas. I'm here. Thank you. Wearing
Welcome,
my Christmas
Stephanie.
red lipstick.
Oh,
Yes, check us out on YouTube, folks. Stockwell Eldridge Show on YouTube. Ed and Stephanie know each other, so it's great. So when Stephanie came in,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
had know each other. So, and we have Chris Harrington, our live music. Chris on
Hello,
break
hello.
was telling just a little update on what you just recently were doing with a buyer, first-time buyer,
Yes.
and tell that story. It's a great story, and I think Ed's organization was involved in that.
Ed's organization was involved. First-time buyer, African-American woman, 60 years of age, buying for the first time. Beautiful house on the north side, and we got her through some of Ed's programs. We got her into a program called Lift, which maybe you can talk a little bit about too, which I know is a
Stephanie
huge,
can too,
Stephanie
yeah.
can too, yeah.
Yeah.
So literally, if someone stays in the house for 3 years, they get a credit for $7,500, and after 3 years, it is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's forgiven, right? So it's essentially
Correct.
like free money.
Yeah.
And so
Isn't that
she
awesome?
and she
Well,
took
it's not free
classes.
money,
Not free money, but after 3 years, it's essentially free money. So you can think of it
I'm
that
just
way.
playing compliance over
Oh
here.
yeah.
Just in case the lawyers are listening.
Yeah, right,
Exactly.
right.
And the other thing that was that I want to make sure you say, Chris, or share the experience of this is this was a process, correct? Or did this just not happen overnight, right?
No,
This took
we got Sylvia involved in taking some of the classes so that she could qualify for the program. So she had to take classes. She had to meet with a counselor. She had to there's a lot of
so
stuff. she
planning
had to
ahead
walk
and
through.
preparation.
That's right.
For a while,
It
right?
took a few months. It took a few
it's
months
not
of
like-
work, but she learned a lot, and she did not know anything previously about being a homeowner, and so she's much more prepared now. She's really prepared to become
And that
a
one's
homeowner.
already, did she buy already, or is it set to buy soon? Or
So we close in a couple weeks.
nice,
Yes,
very nice,
yeah,
very nice.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. A great story.
And what I appreciate you saying about that, when we're working with real estate agents and these classes, a lot of times everyone's like, well, the class is just going to hold up my closing. Oh, it's just going to make my life miserable. But it actually makes your job easier because your
yes.
buyer knows what they're doing, why they're doing it. You know, with Stephanie, they understand completely why it's a really bad idea to go out and buy a brand new car 2 weeks before closing, or to, start buying all the furniture that they're going to put in their new home. They'll
Right.
understand all of this financial decision making that goes into home ownership and the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. So it actually makes as an agent, it makes your life easier when your buyers are fully informed. So the buyers are
Absolutely.
fully informed. They're looking out for their own best interest, but it also makes your job as an agent easier.
So we had a closing yesterday, Stephanie. I'll roll to you right away, but I want to share. We had a closing yesterday. Agent that we work with on the team, buyer got MHFA, 10,000, I believe, something with MHFA. They got Lyft and something else. I don't know what it was, but it equated to over $20,000
Right.
In down payment and
for
entry
down
costs.
payment, closing costs, all that stuff. Unbelievable, and it
Yeah,
was
there's
it was
still
great.
funds out there, like certain neighborhood.
Yes, it was a neighborhood fund as well. So Stephanie, run us through the Lyft again, because refresh our memory. I know we talked about it months
Yeah.
ago, but it's still going on. It's still available, right?
Right. Well, that's why I said, Chris, I'm so glad you brought that up because, there's still, it came out in the fall and we had a big push. We had a big event downtown Minneapolis and we're sold out. Technically people came down, they're registered, ready to go. But, sometimes people didn't find a house or something fell out and so forth. But it's for Minneapolis and St. Paul only, city proper. So it's not in the suburbs. But it is really a great program. And so a huge opportunity. And even if you are a seller, that's something great to advertise in your home. So Jason, Dawn, like I said, you guys, I know you're familiar with it. If you've got a listing or you're selling your home and you're in St. Paul or Minneapolis, that's great to advertise those Lyft funds because buyers coming in may not know about that. And so what a great opportunity to advertise it. Yep. And then Minnesota Housing. And again, with the Lyft goes requires the education, which I think, Ed, your office does such a great job. And, Wells Fargo, too, we're always committed to that homebuyer education. I can't encourage it, and I'm sure you guys do, too. Can't encourage enough how important homebuyer education is for people.
and Google isn't always the best home buyer education.
Yeah, no.
And let me quick say the website. I think if you Google or you search neighborhood lift, LIFT, just neighborhood lift, that will get you to the website to get all the information about where to find, what all the requirements are and the terms, conditions, et cetera,
Nice.
of that assistance.
Yeah, like what you were saying there, Jason, that Lyft is one program, but there are dozens out there. And so people can use our website, hocmn.org. So it's www.hocmn.org. We made it as cryptic as possible.
Yeah.
It stands for Home Ownership Center Minnesota. So Home Ownership Center Minnesota is what that stands
Okay.
for. And we actually have a search engine on our website that we keep up to date on all of the down payment and entry cost assistance that exists in the state right now. Agents can use that. Buyers can use that. People who are selling their property can use that and say, hey, put a little sign up on the kitchen table as people are walking through the house on the open house or for a visit.
Yeah.
Did you know that you might qualify for X dollars? And one of the things that I like about the Lyft program and working with the Minnesota Housing as their mortgage product is the fact that they play well with others, meaning that you can layer many times, like what you saw with this client, you can layer these down payment and entry cost assistance programs that can radically increase the amount that someone can purchase, even with a low to moderate income family. So they can actually increase how much home they can purchase by using these down payment and entry cost assistance programs. The class, known as either Home Stretch if they take it in person, or Framework Home Ownership if they do it online. Both of those are our products that do the actual homebuyer education and not just your Google education, because we, in this world that I'm in, the Google education 9 times out of 10 is wrong.
Yeah.
I was just Fannie Mae just came out with their new report that 78% of buyers who are in the buying process, they're in the process somewhere, still think you need to have a 20% down payment in order to get
Stephanie
into a
talks about
home.
that all the
Yeah.
time.
And that's just it just blows my mind. It's nowhere near the reality where you may actually can, I think in many cases, Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, people out of their own pocket can get into good quality mortgage products, stable home ownership with less than $1,000 out of pocket. And these down payment and assistance programs can increase what you can use to purchase. But once again, I don't want people to think, oh, that's the reason I'm going to talk with the Home Ownership Center so they can get me some down payment. We actually don't offer any down payment programs ourselves. All we do is the information to prepare for
Yes.
successful home ownership. Buyers, no matter whether you're low income, moderate income, you could make $5 million a year. No one is born knowing how to buy a house. No one just knows this stuff. And I work with real estate agents all the time. And even sometimes I have to correct them on the way to the right way
I imagine
to
so,
go about.
yeah.
I'm sure you guys see it when you're sitting on the other side of the table and you're like, you told your client what?
Yeah.
Right.
And so,
Well, that's why we always
I've
tell
done
people
that too.
and I know you guys were talking about earlier, and we do talk about it every week, is just truly being prepared. I mean,
Exactly.
and knowing because realtors, you guys have enough stuff to figure out with the house and the title and all that kind of stuff. But let your lender, advise you on what you can do.
lenders in real estate, first of all, make sure you're choosing the right people. Make sure you're working with good quality professionals, and not someone who's, I don't know, a barista most of the week and then every once in a while sells a house on the side. You might not be getting the best possible representation using someone like
that's a
that.
good way to put it, yeah.
But just remind clients, even when you're working with good quality professionals like the two people I have in front of me here right now, you still need to be your own advocate. You still need to make sure that you're looking out for your best interest.
That's what people, when
You're
a
in
client
the
asks me,
driver's seat.
they'll say, hey, what do you think? And I said, well, number one, here's the negatives, here's the positives, but you know what? You're the one who's going to be living there. You're the one who's going to be buying it. I can tell you what I think, but I'm not going to be the one in this home making that commitment, right? You got to make sure
I always ask people, if I was
your
your sister, what would you tell me to do? Right? Of course, I shouldn't know. I found out some people I don't like my sister. So okay, maybe I got to pose my question in a new
But
way.
yeah, you're right. So you always watch out for yourself, and yes, take advice, get good advice, but make sure that you're looking out for your interest as well, because you're the one who's holding the bag. You're the one who's making that commitment. You're the one who's buying that home. You're the one who's putting the money down. You're the one who's going to live in there. You're the one who's going to fix the problems if there's a problem.
And even, like I said, if you're a move-up buyer, Minnesota Housing has programs for step-up buyers. So sometimes we talk about maybe people that are selling their house, and they're basically, I know you guys they're just coming out flat. And so they think, I can't buy another house because I've
No proceeds
I'm
coming
getting,
out.
yeah,
from
I'm not getting
yeah.
any profits. So they have a step up program that you can get funds if you're moving up. And also having down payment assistance. I don't know, Chris, if this worked in your customer's case, but that also offers some leverage as far as closing costs. Sometimes maybe
Yes.
a seller can't afford to have any seller pay closing costs. Well, your buyer then, or if you are buying a house, you can leverage that down payment assistance for your closing costs as well. So sometimes, that's really a great negotiating tool as well, is to be able to use those funds for whatever is needed, homeowners insurance, property taxes,
Home
whatever.
warranty, right, and all that potentially, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So Google neighborhood lift, or go to our Facebook page. You'll find information there on it. Neighborhood lift, and that will talk about buying. Should you know someone who wants to buy next year or now in Minneapolis proper or St. Paul proper, and then Ed's organization with all kinds of resources. HOCMN, HOC. So think of hockey. HOCMN.org. And
Sure, there you go.
and the Wild are hot right now, so there you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
but,
great resources there.
Good resources on that. And we'll be back with more with Ed, Stephanie, and Dawn.
Ed,
as
I
well.
love your tagline at the bottom of your email. It says promoting and advancing successful homeownership. I think that's awesome.
Thank
Which
you very
is
much.
what
we appreciate it. Yeah.
we really try to do as well. I think everybody in this room, we all try to do that, including you, Barry, because you're the
Right.
video guy, helping us promote our message.
Good night.
Thanks for listening.
Merry Christmas.
We'll be back
Out in the
after
storm.
this
But
short
if you really
break.
hold me
And
tight,
live wonderful
music.
music.
all
Chris
the
here.
way I'll be warm. All the fire
Grab
slowly
what do you
dying.
call them?
Hot toddy.
My dear,
Or-
still
Tom and Jerry.
What's the stuff with the milk?
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
Oh
Oh my God,
Grab an eggnog.
too many calories.
Oh, let it snow with the Eldridge Stockwell team, let it snow.